name's Anne Wilcox. I'm from the Washington, D.C. Assange Group, D.C. Action for Assange, and we do a range of rallies outside the Department of Justice. We also have a monthly vigil outside the home of Merrick Garland, who's the Attorney General, who really could, quash this whole extradition and stop the case if they chose to do so. So we do a lot of actions. We also do lobbying in the Congress to free Assange.
Awesome. Oh, it's amazing to have you here with us. Thanks so much for stopping and spending a few minutes with us. Why is this case so important?
Right. Well, I came over just to be part of the rallies and so forth, but this is really a case about press freedom. I mean, these are unusual charges. It's going to make it difficult for any journalist really to work around the world. Anything they report that a government doesn't want to have out, they could bring these espionage charges. I mean, Assange isn't even a U.S. citizen. He's being charged with, spying against the U.S. It's just really absurd. And it really goes against the war on whistleblowers, the war on truth. And the whole point about WikiLeaks was that they wanted people to have the information. They wanted the information to be out there so people could make their own judgments, and this is a war on that.
100%. Do you think this is a dangerous precedent to set then for the future of independent journalism and the free press full stop?
Very much. We need to support Julian, and really the mainstream press should be doing the same thing. The New York Times, the Washington Post.
Where are they?
And the Washington Post is owned by a multi-billionaire who also has contracts with the Pentagon for cloud services and so forth. So there's just all these corporate interlocking interests that are making it harder for people like Julian to be free and to work.
Well, speaking of the independent press, I declassified the amazing guys from here in the UK. I announced a report this morning that one of the judges actually has close ties with MI6.
Oh, yeah, right. That's not
exactly what you're describing.
Exactly.
Going on inside the court as well.
Exactly. And if Julian comes back for trial in the U.S., he'll be at the Eastern District of Virginia, which is where the Pentagon is, the CIA. So the jury pool there is very much made up of national security family members and others with connections to the national security industry. So he's not going to get a fair trial. Also, the information will be classified, so it's the truth is not going to come out.
Right. Do you feel like that what is actually at play here is a case of making an example of Julian? Because as you say, the case itself is very much Kafkaesque. It's unfounded. He's not even charged with anything.
Right.
So I mean, is this more about making an example to everyone else? From this point, this will not be tolerated.
Right. They're making Julian an exception. He stood up against these interests. He was proud of the fact that he wanted to put this information out there. They've decided to make him a scapegoat, and it must have a chilling effect on other journalists over the years. And so we just hope that he's paid a price already with almost a decade in confinement in the embassy and in prison, and he really needs to be over. He needs to be free.
100%. Well, amen to that. What do you think everyone watching can do to help? Because obviously not everybody can be here in person, but what can people who are watching the live stream if this is going out, and what can they do?
Yeah, well, they can contact their members of Congress if they're in the U.S. They can contact members of Parliament in other countries. Ask for them to pressure their governments, to free Assange. I know the Australian government has finally started to speak out, but the U.S. Government needs to speak out and quash the extradition, and members of Congress can bring some pressure to bear there. So that's one thing. And sign petitions, stay informed, and just be an active citizen on this issue.
Brilliant. And thank you so much for your time. We'll let you get on with it.